We are back at Roosters. It's a fun, casual joint, and it is a Tuesday, an Appetizer Tuesday, and we appreciate all of you who missed us not being here on Monday.
Yes.
We're very sorry for
Threw the wrench into some
I'm sorry.
some plans.
That's on us.
I was lost yesterday.
I know.
Berm was doing good things. He
around.
was in a charity golf outing, and so
That's
So a
important
little
to do.
bit.
So wait, so what? You can sit there and watch the Bengals get smoked? Like, is that what your joy
he's not on the
was?
show, so it's not fair.
We'll bring it
He's
up.
not here to defend
He'll-
himself.
We'll talk to him about it.
He'll
Yeah,
defend
it'll
himself.
be good.
But we are back, and we are going to talk a lot about Ohio State winning 56-0, beating Western Michigan to improve to 2-0, Bob.
Yeah,
Best thing about 2-0,
it's a chance to have an improvement week.
an improvement week. That's right. That's Justin Zwick, Bobby Carpenter, Nicole Cox. I am Austin Ward. We are back. We're going to have some mac and cheese bites. They're $3.
$3. Let's
At every
go.
participating Roosters right
It's
now.
Appetizer
Yes.
Tuesday.
It is an appetizer.
Anthony Schlegel's favorite.
And Burns.
And
like the hot
Burns. Burns
sauce-
already had some. He had the
Yeah.
hot sauce going.
the
when I
hot
got
sauce
here.
on them. They're delicious.
So we're back. We'll be back on a normal schedule. There may still be other Tuesdays throughout the year, just forewarning, but we're always going to let you know.
No,
Yes.
We don't want to disrupt your
No
routine.
more Tuesdays.
No more Tuesdays?
No, I like the Monday. I like the
Well,
Mondays.
I like it too. It gets you ready for the week, and it's the best way to reflect.
You've got to learn
on
to
a win.
adjust your sales, Bobby. We make it work, you know?
That's right.
It's for the folks.
It
They
is,
want to wait.
It's for
they
the
don't
people.
wanna
They don't want to
wait.
wait until
No.
Tuesday. They
I
want it
agree.
Monday afternoon.
Okay.
but I
Bobby
do.
wins that one.
I understand, but there may be one more. There may be. Well, we're going to let you know.
Yeah, after Oregon, we can give us another bye week or what?
We'll get into
We'll
that.
get to that
when
when
we get there. Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But we're not there yet because
We're at
the
Disney
Buckeyes.
again.
no, come on. Go on. After the week after Oregon, there's going to be a Tuesday show.
It's a bye week. That's what I said.
I know, but it's not that one. It's the week after the bye week.
Nebraska.
No, the week of Nebraska. It's going to be a Tuesday show. That's neither here nor there.
So we're letting you
Plan
know.
accordingly.
Yes.
Yes.
Plan accordingly. There will be another Tuesday show, but not for a while.
I'm going to
okay?
tell Jerry to do the media on Monday.
Don't do this to me, Bob.
I'm going to make him do it.
This is what it must be like to be
And you
stressed-
lost your winning point.
stressed out for Nicole all the time with the planning. Like, I'm just trying to let people know,
I love it.
and we are sorry, but we're back now, and we're going
We
to
are.
talk about it. And
Yes.
Nicole, what did you think about a near perfect victory?
Well, guys, I think I was talking about how our puzzle was complete and we had a pretty amazing team.
Mhm.
And I feel like that was seen by all on Saturday. What do you think?
I think it was the way you want to start a game. I mean, we started fast.
Start fast.
I mean, against a team like that, you want to come out and just put them away right away, and I think we did that. I mean, Will Howard, I think, 7-7. I mean, to start the game.
10 of 10 to
10 of
start.
10. Yeah, I mean, it
Even
was
better.
getting up there.
A full tape.
So that's impressive. That's how you want your quarterback going. Your receivers catching the ball, making the right reads, and taking a couple to the house early on there. But a lot of excitement there in that first quarter, no doubt.
What was great too is not just the offense started fast. You saw it start fast in like a complete form. Throwing the ball looked good.
Yep.
Looked really good
Running
running
the
the ball,
ball,
like dominant. If you're like, it's a MAC team, like, well, I watched a couple other teams
Yeah,
that were top 10 teams that
struggled with a couple.
struggled, and one of them struggled all the way till the L
In their own building?
in their own house.
building.
So like that can happen,
Yes,
folks.
it
Like
can.
it's not like, we're playing a MAC team, we should beat them. True, but that doesn't always occur. And then also defensively, like turnover drought. I know they wanted to get something. Where they throw it 18 times. It's tough when they're not really trying to push
Push
the
it down
ball.
downfield.
It's like, hey, can we just maybe get out of here?
In
I
one
think that
piece.
they had 10 3 and outs. Like, so I think that kind of supersedes
And a
the lack
shutout
of
on
turnover.
top, right? I mean, do
And-
you guys as defensive guys like the shutout more, or do you like turnovers more? I mean, how's that?
Here's the
play?
thing: what I enjoy is the fact that they started rotating. I know everybody's like, I gotta rotate more. I'm like, well, I'm not worried. The offense, you can yell about whatever, because they need to develop some continuity. Defensively, they rotated early. Like you look out there, Arvell Reese was out there early on. By the way, Denzel Burke rotated himself out apparently.
Yeah.
And he
though?
handled it.
Did he, though?
Oh,
But
he
you know
did.
what? We get some more experience for a young guy
I'm
out
not
there.
on him. Like this isn't on him.
No, that's
Yeah.
just.
I thought it was a questionable call at best. But you saw Jermaine Matthews come in,
Yep.
and there was no discernible change in play. So as they were cycling in players, there was no change. The standard was the standard, Nicole,
There you go.
which is what you love to tell us.
Bobby, you're just making me agree with you a lot
know.
today, and
Oh,
it's
boy,
difficult.
watch out! That is
because when
that's
you
got to be
hold
hard.
a team,
It is.
to hold a team to 99 yards, when you played 80 guys, a lot of guys on defense up and down the levels, and there was no drop. Like it was the one drive where they had 40, where they had the attempted field goal, I think. I think about 40, 45, like half of the yards came on that drive.
Yep.
And that was against the ones.
And you got to adjust.
You got to
might
adjust.
see something new.
That's why I talked to Lathan Ransom on my show, and he's like, we make adjustments. I'm like, people are probably thinking, I just go over there and sit. It's Western Michigan, just looking in the sky, watching the offense. No, they're always making adjustments the entirety of the game, and the young guys were locked in. So when they got in, it wasn't like, hey, we corrected that in the first quarter, first half. Like, no, they knew what was going on. They were ready to go.
Well, I think some of the MAC stuff and the conversation about
action
polls and projected brackets and all this stuff is a little bit overblown, because in college football, it's been pretty well documented that you can lose to anybody. In fact, on Saturday, there was yet another example of that happening for Notre Dame. So I'm putting more credence in the fact that, Nicole, through 2 weeks, it's a combined 108-6. They get the shutout. They get progress on offense. You see improvement from week 1 to week 2, and they're taking these opponents seriously. So I'm putting that down as marks in the pro column.
You guys, they have to take. I guess I have trouble understanding. Like, I feel like you have to take it seriously for every single opponent. That's how teams lose. That's how they're blowouts, like with Notre Dame. That's because they go in like, oh, we're going to blow them out of the water. And maybe, I don't want to say that's what happened with Akron, because I don't necessarily think it was that. I think it was more, this is the first time a lot of the guys were playing together and kind of had to get. But when you get overconfident, and we've seen that happen with the Buckeyes in years past, of just being like on a high, and then like, oh wait, we got to be brought back down to reality, and really, and it's a natural human thing to do, But it was so much fun watching them, and I was just so impressed. I felt like our blocking on the perimeter was better, which I know they were struggling with a little bit, but and it just proved the selflessness of the O-line. So I'm basically giving my Buckeye lead.
Hey, now, okay. Buckeye lead.
Sorry.
There we go.
Guys, I'm sorry. I get really excited when I start talking to you about it. And so I won't do this every week, I promise, but I was just so impressed with the O-line. I was impressed with...
That's what Jay-Z's been waiting for. So you can do that.
And she took it from me. She said, what are you going with? I said, what are you going with, Nicole?
I was impressed with them last week for figuring out their kinks and trying to get used to playing together and learning from their mistakes. And this week, we were able to even see more of how selfless they are. For instance, Tate and G. Scott just blocking so that the guys can get through and score a touchdown. I mean, they're not like, give me the ball. There's no selfishness. They're all working together, and it was just very impressive.
What I found interesting, too, is in Ryan in his press conference, he noted that and talked about, hey, you look at Quinshawn's long run, everybody's running down, from Fryer. He's like, Bryson Rogers. And Bryson gets the holding call on him, and he didn't really correct that. It was an effort penalty. And so it's like, all right, we can correct that. Like, hey, back off a little bit. But we wanted to see our wide receivers blocking better. Well, hey, you know what? You're
getting
20, 30, 40 yards down the field blocking now. Okay, well, now we can address maybe do this, maybe we get into technique a little bit more. But now that we don't have to coach the effort, it's there. I'm going to compliment that, because that's what they were trying to incentivize, and they got it.
I don't know, a week ago, Jay-Z were saying, well, Ohio State got better on the offensive line. If you look at the second half, it was better than the first. We wanted to see them bully around Akron from start to finish. And again, there's reasons that can and cannot happen in week 1. But they were putting some dudes in the ground right away on Saturday.
100%. I thought
dudes in the dirt.
Protection for the quarterbacks. I mean, they stayed clean for most of the game. The holes that they had. I mean, Seth McLaughlin getting off a block, getting up to the secondary. You saw that a couple times, just really moving and getting the flow of that, and it just running backs getting when you're a running back and you're able to get through the line of scrimmage 3-4 yards downfield before you have to worry about making your first guy miss, that changes the game for you, and when you're a quarterback and hey, I'm feeling pretty good tonight, these guys got this going, I can sit back here and go through my reads and not have to worry about things. It just makes you that much more confident in what you're doing, and that offensive line, I mean, really picked it up, and it's good to see, because we still don't have our starting left tackle or left guard there. Yeah. So to see these guys getting it together now, getting that experience, it's only going to help us down the road when we have this long schedule.
I believe Bill Bender of the Sporting News told me that Will Howard is maybe one of 4 or 5 quarterbacks in Division I who hasn't taken a sack yet.
That's pretty good.
Starting quarterbacks.
Yeah. Again, and then people want to discredit that by saying they played MAC opponents. I don't think that this is the time for that. I mean, I watched Tulane get after Kansas State. Everybody told me Avery Johnson was supposed to be the second coming, and I watched that. I was like,
He's got some sweet hair.
I wonder if maybe they'd have felt better with a veteran quarterback leading their offense. I don't know. That's not for me to say because I don't cover Kansas State. I cover Ohio State. That's where Will Howard plays now. And I think the Buckeyes are pretty glad they have him.
Oh, it sounds that's the case. I mean, from what I've heard.
I think we're going to be okay with this guy here this year.
I asked Ryan Day about that. It was like it's the improvement week stuff, Nicole, where they're going through and every single player's got something that they're working on. Like, what would that be for Will Howard? And you don't really reveal specifics of that. Those are coach and player conversations, and they don't really include me, which is fine. But
ever asked to be included?
I sometimes did. And Ryan Day gave a pretty insightful answer about that. There's some plays that they could execute a little bit better, but I've been really impressed, Jay-Z, about all the stuff that they're putting on Will Howard's plate from week 1 to week 2. It was like Ryan Day put it in a way that's like you make assumptions coming out of camp. You don't really dial up the entire playbook in week 1, but then they figured out how much more he could handle, I thought, in week 2, and it's like, well, pretty much everything, and they trust him to go do that.
Yeah, and it's awesome seeing, and I think, in spring ball where they're like, ooh, okay, well, all right, we'll see how this guy, comes along, and it's just, so much was thrown at him so quick, and I think, through summer, he's worked so hard on just understanding exactly what the coaches want out of him, what they're trying to get out of these plays that they're calling, and when you have that full arsenal of Chip Kelly's playbook, which has been awesome to see. I mean, there's been some cool stuff so far this year. I mean, nothing too crazy, but just some nice little wrinkles. They know that Will can go out there and handle it, and they trust him to do that. And he's putting the ball on the money. I mean, a couple deep balls, either put some more on it or throw it sooner, whatever that is, there. But, those are things you can clean up and kind of work with. But knowing that you have that veteran guy out there who understands what you're trying to do, what Chip's trying to call, gets a team in the right situations, it's huge. And that's why when you have a veteran guy like that, that's why we all thought this has got to be the guy because he's been through a lot of this before. Oh, yeah. He's just got to get this terminology, this playbook down, and then he'll pick up right where he left off.
Well, with the timing element, I wanted to bring up, I mean, it's been about a month that he has been like
the starter.
100%. Getting all those reps. So you can speak to that. Yeah. I mean, like, it wasn't like he's been in this position taking all the first team reps for the last 8 months. Like, that's not the case.
Well, and if timing, he probably wasn't. Well, not probably. He definitely wasn't throwing to Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah,
21.7 miles per hour or something like that.
He had to be faster than that. It was crazy.
You guys, and I think Chip Kelly deserves one of my 50 Buckeye leaves
Whoa,
today.
Hey now.
Cool.
Just because it's the entire offense that I'm just so impressed with. It's very fun to watch them. It's fun to watch them work together. And just for them, it's only the second game, and I feel like they've already found their groove.
Yeah, to that point, I mean, we talk about Will understanding it. All these other guys, Chip's new to them as well. This system and the way he calls things and the way he wants to coach and teach things is different for them. So for all those receivers and offensive line to be able to get on board this quick, I mean, it just shows you how much work they've put in.
They put some mac and cheese bites on the table, and Nicole went full schlag.
I did.
I mean, what a wild turn of events. Do you have anyone left to give Buckeye leaves to?
I don't.
No. Okay.
I mean, I've got a lot of notes, but I think I'll leave it at that.
Offensive line and Chip Kelly get the Roosters Buckeye leave from Nicole. Jay-Z, who do you got?
I was going to take the big uglies up front on both sides of the balls. She took the offensive line. Defensive line, I thought Ty Hamilton jumped off the screen.
There you go. Pick an outlier, the player of the game.
Well, no, I know,
but of the day.
Fair enough. I didn't even know that, but I think he jumped off the screen at me. I mean,
he killed their center. He died.
Caden McDonald,
R.I.P.
Tyleek. I mean, all those guys in the middle there. I mean, we know what Jack and JTT can do, but in the middle there, I mean, they're getting that pressure, and I thought they played great. Just to slackled up a little bit. Quinshon Johnson or Juckins, you saw what he was able to do. 80-yarder off the board. Could have had 200 yards rushing in that game. I think it shows you his big play capability, and then to team him up with Trey, I mean, it's just dirty. It's not even fair. I mean,
they're 4th and 5th in the country for rushing yards. They're 4th and 5th. Yeah. I mean, they're incredible.
Pretty amazing. So
James Peoples isn't
bad.
James
Peoples.
Well, and then you throw that on there, it's like cherry on top, right?
I mean, Sam Williams-Dixon had a 31-yarder.
Yeah.
So everybody was getting in the mix.
Yeah. Which shows you again the offensive line, though, all the way through the game, whoever they put in there was getting after it and opening those holes.
So I mean, that's what everybody wants to come down on. Like Justin Fry, he's a bad offensive line coach. I'm like, they dealt with a lot of crap during training camp, and they still don't have Donovan Jackson in there. But you put him and Chip together, their offensive line play at UCLA. I challenge anyone to go back there and watch it with what they were able to do. like marry up these concepts and principles, it's pretty deadly. For me, I mean, you went with the guys on the inside. Like, it's got to be the one thing to win a national championship. I think it's almost been proven beyond a doubt. And you look even last year with Michigan with what they had. You know, they still have Mason Graham's back.
Yep.
You know, they had Jenkins. I mean, you've got to have dudes inside on the defensive side of the ball. I think Ty Hamilton has 21-inch arms like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch
Pythons?
him. He's got python. You watch him take.
Oh, yeah.
He might be better than his brother, which I didn't think was the case. I don't know if we can get there yet. We'll see at the end of the season.
I think he started. He doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion, Bob. I'm just going to jump on that point. I think Ty Hamilton has been playing better for a longer stretch than Devon did. Devon's final year was really good, ridiculous. Yeah. So I don't know. He could get to that point.
It's good. It's just week 2, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he might be ascending to that, to where finally we'll be able to give him his flowers. But you look at Caden McDonald, Hero Canoe, Tyleek Williams. I mean, they've got dudes in there that can dominate inside. And when you have to go beat a Texas, a Georgia, a Bama, like the elite teams, they're really good inside. And this is the first time I've looked like watching what Ty Hamilton did to that center. Yeah. I mean, dude, that's like if my son's trying to buck me in the backyard. It's like, geez, there's no worse feeling in the world than being that guy. Yeah. When you can feel yourself lifting off the ground.
I got this guy by myself again.
I'm done. It's over.
I'm going to be in the backfield again.
It's over. And so, like, those guys in there, they make it easy for the linebackers. They make it easy for the secondary Latham.
They make it easy for the rush guys, too, because you can't double team them. You got to worry about taking care of the middle.
It's 3-on-2 on the inside, and you're getting slide protect. You're getting all kinds of stuff. So the emergence of that interior just domination, and that's what you have when you have guys who've been playing for 4 and 5 years. They're strong. They're physical. They've been indoctrinated into the culture, and so that's where I'm going to go.
I love that. Just the linebackers on this show never get enough credit.
Oh, I give them.
He never gives them their flowers, does he?
I give them stuff every week.
Getting Cody Simon
I should give
back.
Lorenzo Styles one. I actually told Sonny it was his birthday. Happy birthday. I didn't realize it was Zoe's yesterday, and he was Special Teams Player of the Week, which people don't really talk about. He came in like he's backing up Jordan Hancock now. There's going to be games that teams throw the ball a lot, and he's going to get on the field and play more. He is a good player. People have kind of undersold his value of what he is to this defense.
Set the tone on kickoff cover as well. I actually went up and talked to Lorenzo in the tunnel on the way up. I was like, "Are you okay? Because I thought that you killed somebody. You folded a man in half."
Yeah.
He's coming along pretty nicely, but getting Cody Simon back in the lineup, it's a huge deal. I think it's fun to talk about the rise of Arvell Reese. We know Sonny Styles is a lot of attention paid to that move from safety down to linebacker. Finding different ways for CJ Hicks to get involved. I know that's all popular and fun to talk about, but appreciate Cody Simon in real time, man, because those first 2 third downs, he gets the blitz in there, and again, the defensive tackles put him in position. Cody Simon made it that point as well when I talked to him after the game. It's not just him, but he knifes in there. He gets the sack.
Cody Simon's just one man.
And then the next drive, though, that is the only time they had any sustained period of success. Western Michigan, Cody Simon drops into coverage, sprints across the field, gets the pass breakup, near interception, gets them off the field. They miss the field goal. The shutout stays intact. So he was only quote-unquote 3 tackles, didn't have to play a ton in this game. They eased him back, and I think it's probably by demand because Cody Simon did not want to miss another week of action. But
he's the Block O.
The Block O, right? You only have 12 opportunities guaranteed to wear that Block O, and he'd already missed out on one of them. But
in the shoe, you're not missing out on any more home games.
Yeah. Get him back out there, and he played a whale of a game on just a limited snap count. So good for him and good for the Buckeyes to have him back out there. So that's it.
I agree. I had that written down too.
It's written down in the notes.
You don't have a score prediction because it's improvement week, Nicole.
I know, but I do have a score prediction.
Week? Do you like the moniker for this?
I love improvement week.
Called
I
raising
love
the standard.
anytime you can look at what you're doing, have time to adjust and learn. I wish there are so many times I wish we had that every day.
There are no off weeks.
You know what that is? It's called laying in your bed, staring at the ceiling.
Is it?
Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window.
Okay. Yes, Bobby.
The rest is still unwritten. The rest is still unwritten, Nicole.
I follow you on that. But yes, I do love improvement week. Okay. I think it's good, but I agree with what you guys are saying. It is. I do have that part of me that it's like working out. Like if you are on a great workout routine and you're going every week, and then you get sick, and you miss a few days. Ooh. It's you just miss a few few days of that routine.
Yeah.
That's what happens
It
to
is
the
a
Ohio
little
State
bit more
offensive
difficult,
line.
but I know that the coaches are going to keep them going like it is game week.
Yeah.
So I have faith in that. I really do.
I'm sure they love that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you have a score prediction because you're not going to be here on Monday.
Correct. But
Yeah.
I'll let you know so you can say it on Monday. Because
Oh.
I want to wait and see because Marshall plays this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
They got some
You're gonna do
guys.
some
I might
scouting.
make
You're gonna
some
do some scouting. You see that
adjustments.
receiver make that catch last week on the sideline?
Yeah. They got some guys.
I did not.
Oh, he mossed somebody.
No, okay.
Yeah.
From Marshall. he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. How about that?
How about that? Indeed. So it is Appetizer Tuesday.
it is.
So we got the world famous mac and cheese bites.
Today is the day.
With
They're delicious.
sour cream dipping sauce.
Or-
as it's known.
Or you can do ranch.
The spicy
You can do
ranch.
anything you
Spicy
want.
Spicy ranch is the way to go.
Hot
I've learned that.
sauce. Spicy
Over the
ranch is kind of
Spicy
the
ranch is the way to
combination.
go. Yeah, I mean, it's
Schlegs told me today he hates sour cream but loves ranch. It's the seasoning.
I agree. I
That's
love
the-
ranch.
Is that what it
I
is?
love ranch. And the Buckeye
Ooh.
giveaway, you guys. So we
have
picked
your
our
first
winners.
winners.
Mark, who won
your
the
husband.
husband?
What? He
No.
cannot win.
Mark from Monroe, Ohio. He goes to the Springboro location. Super, super nice. He won the 10 tickets to Marshall. And then, we picked all the winners, and they are uber excited. We'll be posting a few pictures on
So
social
when is
media.
the next drawing?
I think it's October 7th.
October 7th. So you have until then. Vote
Yes.
every day.
First or second week in October.
Just like the election. Vote
Every
early,
day.
vote often.
Every single day. And 3 out of the 4 winners registered every single day. So I am
Oh,
saying,
little tip.
yes.
Word
that
to the
definitely
wise.
helps.
Okay.
So you get
That's-
that 1 in
chances.
25 million
That's
chance.
why there were 25 million
It's not
entries.
25 million. You have a better
That's
chance.
what
of
I
winning,
heard.
I promise.
Odds
And
are
trust
you'll have
me.
fun.
Mhm.
Register every day. RoostersWings.com.
Yes.
Anything else going on, Nicole?
That would be it.
I just submitted an entry.
That's-
Boom.
that's
how
how
about that?
easy it
That's
is?
how easy it
You
is.
can't win.
Oh.
How
You're
about
not
that?
allowed to win.
I'll
What?
check the rules
No, he's
if
not.
he's eligible, but I don't.
I just
I
wanted
don't-
to show the people at home how easy it was.
Yes. Hey,
Bing, bang, boom.
always thinking. I love
Bada
it,
bing,
Judy.
know?
bada boom.
Love
Not
it.
eligible to win, though, Jason.
Yeah,
Sorry,
okay.
You're out.
I used a fake name.
Ah, very smart.
We're on Mexico.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Well, that's the first half of the show. It was back. It's on a Tuesday, an Appetizer Tuesday. Nicole's going to go about the rest of her day. Berm's going to be here shortly. He's very
Oh.
optimistic right now.
Super happy for the Bengals.
So you can look forward to that when we come back into Roosters. It's a fun, casual joint.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Second half. Welcome back into Roosters.
Second half, best half.
Best half. I don't know. Nicole was here.
I was just trying to be.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just leaning in to optimism.
Okay.
Who'd you guys talk about on the Buckeye League?
Don't worry about it. Just
yeah.
just
who
follow
do
your
you,
heart.
who do you
Cool,
want
that's
to
what I
give
wanted to
Buckeye
do.
League to?
Talk about the Bengals.
Nobody on the Bengals gets a Buckeye League. They sucked. You know who didn't suck? Quinshon Judkins. He didn't suck.
We didn't talk about Q.
I was a little, I'm not going to say I was hard on him a week ago, but I was a little bit like underwhelmed by week 1 performance where you expecting this is the best running back in the SEC, the best running back in the country, kind of expected him to come into his
It's a
first
Hulk,
game.
just run through
Yeah,
everybody.
and-
for touchdowns. Yeah.
And I don't know,
Makes
like
sense.
maybe we don't appreciate how much a change of scenery can affect people the first time
Yeah.
they do it. But hearing Will Howard talk about that on Saturday night after the game, where he said, "Hey, this was something new for all of us, and now we're getting into routine." Quinshon ran really freaking hard against Western Michigan when he had the football, and
I think he heard your criticism.
Took it to heart?
it wasn't
Yeah.
criticism. I want to be clear. I was expecting
You're
an
just
All-American
sad.
running back to walk in and be an All-American running back, and
Those are fair expectations.
yeah, and in week 1, I was like, oh, there seems to be a difference in velocity between Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins that I did not expect. And in this week, I thought we saw Quinshon elevate his game, and whichever guy was out there was going 1,000 miles an hour, and it looked really good. And then I'd like to dig into
let's do
the
this.
heartstrings.
Dig in.
Bennett Christian deserves a Buckeye League.
Yeah.
Obviously, he scores his first touchdown at Ohio State. That's a kid who made a
Mistake.
mistake a year ago without really knowing he was making a mistake, and
Just trying to get better.
missed
Unforced error.
and missed his full a full season, and he was so excited this offseason about some of the little things that he was getting to do, like the willpower tush-push play. Like he's, told me a couple weeks before the season, like that's one set that he's going to be in on because that's what he's designed for. When you're 6'6", 260 pounds, you get in there and
push the tush. Yeah.
But
he was designed to push the tush.
Yeah, he was designed to push the tush.
I don't know that. Like that doesn't sound.
I mean,
like
that's what I thought he was saying. I don't know. I thought that's what he meant.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
To be perfectly clear, that was the rest of you who did that. I was saying that he's built to be a blocker and
pusher.
He's
a pusher of
I
the
didn't put words
tusher.
in his mouth. That was not
I'm
me.
pretty sure you said he's.
I'm pretty much.
He's
That's
designed
what I took from it.
to be out there and move some people, okay? And it may, in some cases, be his quarterback who he moves. Other times, it may be the defense.
But maybe he scores a touchdown.
But either way, he scored a touchdown, and he was wide open. And
He was wide open.
you could see him running down the sideline, and like he was, there's that thing that people do when they look up at the scoreboard to see if anyone's behind him, which is like a cool instinct that people have.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, once he realized he was gone, like you saw his whole demeanor change. It went from like, I'm going as hard as I can to like, oh my gosh, this is great. I'm going to score.
You went from don't get caught to I don't think I'm going to get caught. This is great.
And to planning a celebration, you could see that switch happen in real time. And then he decided he was going to go with the track sprinter finishing tape. I never thought there'd be a moment in Bennett Christian's career where he got to do that.
He was moving pretty good.
Marvin?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, he was moving pretty good for a guy that we don't really talk about as a receiving threat.
He's faster than you think.
He's a big athlete, and I'm really happy for Bennett to get that opportunity. He's another guy that a lot of times there's conversation around people who don't play in their first year or two, and it always turns to like, well, why are you still here? Shouldn't you leave?
Get out of here.
Shouldn't you transfer?
That's what society tells you. Leave.
And I just appreciate kids like that. He's still in year 3. He's tight end 3 or 4 or 5, depending on the week, and continues to put in the work. And it's nice to see a guy get rewarded. So
there's a pathway for those guys to have success here, and still be able to play at the next level. Like it's not. I agree with you, Burr. Like, what are you still doing here? Yeah. Why did you stay?
Why would you stick around?
We hear it all the time, and I don't.
You know why? Because you become Cody Simon. If you really do it right and you work hard, you become Cody Simon or Lathan Ransom. And Lathan played early, so that was a little bit different. But there's elements of guys who maybe don't play right away, and they still have a lot of success.
There's a belief, I think, at a program like Ohio State that you have to be one of the best players on the team the minute you walk into the building. And
well, if a dog's going to bite, he'll bite as a pup.
Maybe. But sometimes they just get pissed off when they're older because people keep stepping on their tail.
Got abused a lot, right. Hit with newspapers.
And people kept looking for other dogs. Like, oh, we should bring in another puppy. And eventually, that dog's like, hey, I see another puppy come in my house, and I'm going to bite its freaking head off.
Yeah.
So that is your house where you got
that is exactly what's happened to my house.
A million animals inside.
Do you live in Springfield?
I live north of Toledo, Justin.
Oh, my bad. We were talking about pets' heads falling off.
Oh, wow. But also, you shouldn't expect that to happen with everybody because Ohio State's recruiting classes are all really good. So and see the process through.
Especially at a tight end position where we've talked about it. It's always developmental. And there's just a lot of people in this world right now. We're going to get poetic here. We're going to dig deep.
Heartstrings.
There's just a lot of folks that don't see the big picture in life. They see like short-term success and completely give up on the idea of like long-term fulfillment. And I guarantee
human fulfillment.
If you ask Cody Simon,
Northwestern could use a guy like you.
Did he think about leaving 2 years ago? I bet Cody Simon will say he had thoughts, right?
I think Cody Simon was maybe going to leave after last year.
Right, but here he is. And I bet you when he looks back on this 30 years from now, being the Black O, being a captain of Ohio State, is going to mean a whole hell of a lot more than going home and playing for Greg Schiano and Rutgers for one season. Or, you know what I mean?
How about that?
I bet you'd still mean more.
Probably will.
Yeah, definitely will.
Greg would yell at you more.
Rutgers may have more wins.
No.
But you're going to be able to tell your kids how you stick it out and how to handle things like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're imparting lessons for your children in the future of America, which Cody Simon will have a very important role in as the future president.
As
the former future president.
Former future
So you started all this by giving Bennett Christian a Buckeye leave. Jay-Z, did you have a lot of 14 personnel packages in back in your day? It had to have been at least 20 years since Ohio State used that, if they ever did, because I don't believe I've ever seen it before.
No. We were pretty vanilla back in the day.
But you didn't.
You don't
go
get
to
more
4
vanilla.
We
Tennessee.
ran some 22 and maybe some 32.
Maybe.
I don't know if there was ever a 4 that crept in there though.
No,
I
I don't think there was.
I don't. Bob, do you ever?
I
I
don't
don't
even
remember
know.
ever seeing that. Before.
I don't know any team. I think in the NFL there was some team. There was maybe a game or two where a team would run. They'd call it 14T because they have to put extra tackle in because no one carried 4 tight ends.
Yeah.
Like you would have to put 3 tight ends in and then a tackle.
You're
in
the
one
most
of the
athletic
inline slots.
tackle that.
Yeah. Because you just didn't have that ability. So I've never seen that in college though, and that's one of the things I'll tell you this: like Chip's creativity.
Yes.
Coach, defensive coordinator's gonna hate that. Like, what the
Yeah,
heck
what do we
am I
do with
supposed
this?
to do with this? I have to teach my guys how to line up to this
Yeah.
trash,
Yeah.
and like, do I have to get another linebacker or 2 in here?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? So just give me a.
We knew Ryan liked the tight ends,
Oh,
but I mean,
yeah.
we hadn't seen that before. Chip coming in, but you wonder if
Well, he ran more 12 than a lot
Yeah,
of
his
teams
love
do.
for the tight end
Like,
came from
almost
being around Chip
33%
and-
of the time was
Yeah.
12 personnel. But I'd never seen it take into that level. And I do think we mentioned this in the first half of the show, like from week 1 to week 2, the wrinkles, the additions to the playbook, the opening it up, whatever you want to call it. I think you're starting to already see the Chip Kelly impact and what more they can get to.
The Chip effect.
The Chip effect.
Chipping away.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
I think the fun thing is going to be to see what he does with what he's put out there already. Because early in the season, you're not going to throw a ton of stuff on film.
He'll throw some Easter eggs. He'll put the 14
he'll
out there.
He'll put a little something out there. But I mean,
this guy.
just the variations of what we may and can do off of the different motions and the different sets. I mean, it's going to be
Chip's
exciting.
the guy. If you're Oregon, he's the coach. If you're Oregon, you're sitting there, you're Dan Lanning. You're like, we got to go pull this UCLA tape up, and we're gonna have to sit here and watch through like the
everything.
last handful of years to see like, okay, because they obviously they can play 4 wide receivers, they can play 3 or 4 tight ends,
Yeah.
they can have 2 running backs on the field. Let's see what
He
they've
put a
done.
second quarterback out there to take it.
That's what I'm
To
saying.
give Mason Maggs a carry. So weird things can happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's got all these different options.
Not
So
a game plan for him.
Yeah, he's like,
Tough.
we know that they have the ability to do this via personnel. We're going to have to go back, and when they get in these things, what does he like to do? At least have some idea, because
idea.
nobody wants to get caught with their pants down in a game and be like Virginia Tech against the Bear defense. We're like, oh, we didn't think they were going to run that. By the way, we've never talked about
Yeah,
it. And now we don't have any
we
answers.
had no answers.
It's the
for
middle
it.
of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
Like so they're going to want to go at least like just skim it.
Yes.
I glanced at it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not
They
mine,
run-
but I glanced at it.
Not
Just
mine.
fake your way
I
through
gla- Yeah. I saw it. They did a little 23. I glanced at it.
Yeah.
Here's about 3 or 4 plays that they could run. Okay. Like, let's see what they can do. So that's all the crap that you're sitting there as a player. Like, they're not going to run all this, but they're going to run some of a little bit of each different things, and you have no idea what it's going to be. You find out game time.
How much more encouraging is it now to think about Will Howard
Seldom is heard an encouraging word.
when you go to 4 wide, which Ohio State really doesn't do often, but
Rarely.
what you watched out of Will Howard on Saturday was a guy that I felt like if you did some 4 wide stuff, if you even went 5 wide, like I think that there's an opportunity for Ohio State now.
We
talked
told me
about-
he couldn't throw the ball well down the field.
I don't remember saying that.
That was you.
You're gonna have to pull.
We're going to have to pull the tape. Yeah.
I'll find it.
There was
Skim it.
Go
Go
get
back
my
to
AI, go
UCLA.
get my AI guy. on
Ohio
there.
State does not. I mean, hell, in the Ryan Day life at Ohio State, we haven't seen him run a bunch of 4 and 5 wide. That's just
No.
not what he's about. But this,
Most NFL guys don't like to run 4 wide.
no, and I understand why you want. You're giving
it
up all
limits you in
protection.
what you can do. Yeah,
But-
protection-wise.
You are with this offense. It's one of the things we talked about all August is that they can do pretty much anything with this roster offensively, and having a quarterback like Will Howard who can do any of it and all of it is really a difference maker for Ohio State. The Buckeyes have been blessed to have some really great quarterbacks in the last few years, but I don't think that there's been one. Justin, they didn't let him run, so I guess maybe it's hard to say exactly what he could have been, but
They didn't want him to get COVID.
what we saw out of Will on Saturday night with the option looks, the RPOs, the speed option, the run pass. I mean, like real run pass options, not just
the fake. I was waiting for them to show a little bit of that.
yeah.
It's
Like I mean, you're seeing things that you're like, wow, I haven't seen that.
they had that in the bag, and I was like,
I mentioned that a week ago. It's like, well, how are you going to form a definitive evaluation of Ohio State when they barely even opened the playbook at week 1. Like, there's a ton of stuff that we saw just in 5 training camp practices that, like, that didn't happen against Akron. Still in the bag.
So, like, now you can begin to feel really comfortable with your quarterback that he can do any of that. And nationally, people are going to have to see it and be like, oh, wow, we need to pay attention to that because Will didn't even – I mean, he had 1 carry on Saturday night for a 6-yard touchdown. But there are a number of times when he could have just pulled it down and ran for 15, 20 yards. So it's very, very different offensively than it's more different than I would have anticipated.
Is that better?
No, 100% better. We talk all offseason about Ryan Day and, like, will he give up? Will he truly, like, submit to Chip's offense, right? Or is it Ryan's offense and Chip's just running? And it sure feels like it's Chip Kelly's offense.
The thing was, I mean, it's Chip's, and they've blended in Ryan's pass elements of the passing game. Like, if you're like, whose is it? I'm like, a lot of times they blend that stuff together.
It's a combination of all offensive coaches putting their input in.
Like, they used the same terminology that they already had here, and Chip kind of blended his stuff into that. It wasn't like Chip came in like, all right, Ryan, boom, in the trash.
Throw this book away.
Here's the new stuff we're doing. Get this junk out of here. Like, okay, this is what you've done. How am I going to integrate?
Right. What if we do this here and put this guy here?
We'll
and
just change it up a little bit.
Switch it up a little bit. Yeah.
So,
well, I like it.
That's good.
I think a lot of Buckeye fans.
That's bottom line. I like it.
Ryan was.
I don't care if you don't.
Looking for your approval, and I'm glad he's got it.
Well, he's got it.
Yep.
He doesn't have to worry about whether he got it or not.
Did you tell him that in the presser today?
No.
Right, I approve.
I don't think
of what you're doing.
Things are good.
What you're doing.
Yeah, I approve of what you guys
What's
got going
the question?
on here.
You
Yeah.
just-
Nothing. I just want you to know that.
Just a thumbs up for you. So
Buckeye Leaf.
it feels silly to view it through this lens because it's 108 to 6 through 2 weeks. But if you were drawing anything up for improvement week, Bob, where would you begin?
Ooh, I mean, at some point, I think Donovan Jackson's going to play. So, like, integrating him in. But I think you found out some stuff about the younger linemen. Like,
Austin Cerevel.
Austin Cerevel looked good. Like, you know how he looked good? Because you didn't notice him getting beat. So that's
Exactly.
They're not saying his name. It means he's doing his
number
job.
one. Like, oh, where did that sack come from? Oh, left guard, Austin got beat. No, I thought he's become an asset. And so that gives you more options as you work through some things. We knew this offensive line was going to get better. They're going to get tested. They're going to go good on good. Because the reality is, like, the teams that they played have not been as good as the opposition.
People that they go against every day.
In practice. So I know Ryan wants to keep this a good on good. And to improve, to me, it's just really, can you keep that level of sharpness? Like, can you stay that laser focused? Because that's about, minus the defense not getting a turnover, that's about as good a game as you're going to play on both sides of the ball. Like, sure, could they have tried to score 63 or 70 points? But they were running it. They emptied the benches. They gave up 99 yards in a college football game against a Division I FBS team.
They're on scholarship.
I mean, like, I think people realize how hard that is to do.
Yeah. And half of it came on one drive.
That's what I'm
as you mentioned.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, it was,
They had 5 yards in the second half.
like, that doesn't even make sense.
So,
No,
no, that's not,
that is
not
insane.
normal.
So I don't know what
Well,
you
with that being
work
said,
on.
I don't know what you want to work on. Yeah.
Well, I know.
Maybe
I mean,
just keep everybody healthy this week during practice. You know, maybe you get your good on good, but let's not go too crazy. Other than that, I mean, Will Howard has looked sharp in my opinion. I don't know, where you get that improvement. Deep ball, he's missed a couple of those. I thought maybe being a little short, but that'll come. Maybe he's just not seeing it quick enough, or not realizing how fast these guys are, how far downfield they are with the bright lights.
it doesn't
out
look
there.
like arm strength is the
No, it doesn't. That's why it's just like, and you saw after the one, he's like, throw the effing ball.
Yeah.
Like he's mad at himself because he knows he has
He's gotta let
whatever
it
it
rip.
takes. You just got to let it rip and not worry about overthrowing him. Let those guys go out and run underneath of it. So that probably has something to do. He just doesn't want to miss that layup, which is always, quarterback, you always talk about it. Don't miss the layup. If he's wide open, just get the ball to him. Well, he probably has a little bit of that. You just got to let that thing rip, and he has plenty of arm to do it. And if you get those plays, if we start connecting on those plays, I mean, I don't know what you do, because I mean it's incredible the way the offense has been going.
Will Howard has not been sacked yet, right?
No.
He's
No,
one
yeah.
of like 4 or 5
Yeah, we talked about
quarterbacks.
So I mean, but there's been
FBS.
multiple times on this past week. I think there's only one time where there was a free blitzer off the corner that he ducked out of the way of and then threw it away.
He's had one of those in each game.
Yeah, and so that's, I guess, like if I'm getting nitpicky, like maybe there's something somebody not identifying where a blitzer's coming from. Maybe it's just a perfect call in that situation. I don't know.
Sometimes they get you.
But it's been twice in 2 games where he's had to bail out of the pocket pretty quickly.
Christian
I
Bale.
mean, we're talking very nitpicky.
I mean, I like how he throws the ball away.
Yeah, I mean,
Just-
he's smart. He continued to make all the right decisions. So there's not a lot to critique.
Yeah.
Really.
No, there really-
I mean,
Makes all the right moves.
that's right. It's exactly the.
It's a
that's
risky business
it's a
out there,
Christian Bale's in all those movies.
but he's the top gunner for sure.
How do we get from Chris Bale to Tom Cruise? so
Yeah, that's.
I don't
I'm
know. It's a
confused.
Got
great.
the
I
wires
was
crossed.
following for a little bit.
I don't know.
I'm like, was
Well-
he in that movie?
That's
It's really a day of thunder out here.
Yeah, we're fully on Tom Cruise.
We need
But-
some thunder.
Yeah, we're rolling along, and we're gonna roll out of here.
do we have any? I mean,
No.
is there anything? I don't know.
Is there any- I don't-
Okay,
You were at the game.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we
They
go.
can still play.
Oh, he's
got-
with
he's
got
special
one.
teams.
I need to see improved production from the defensive end spot opposite Jack Sawyer.
Okay.
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 One tackle for JT Tuimoloau was not enough.
The play that he made was pretty impressive.
He's always making one or two
Impressive
plays a
play.
game.
Yes.
It's just the consistency.
But is he showing up?
the other
And
thing too is
he's not playing a lot.
that's it.
Yeah.
I get it.
You're,
But
you're getting Austin's dream of more rotation.
That's what I've been begging.
Is
He
it-
loves it.
is it too much?
Needs
Austin,
it.
tell us. Is it too much
He
rotation
needs,
now?
He needs the rotation.
No.
Get
know.
ready. Get ready.
K-Mac looks pretty good inside. I mean, all those guys,
Yeah.
the guys they're putting in look like they
No.
should be playing.
Yeah,
that's
it's not like, what are we
can't be
doing
like,
here?
oh, why is he on the field? Like that's not. This is not a 2022 situation where
Yeah.
you're putting someone out there and you're like, why though? I mean, you're ramping up, and this is we talked about again preseason. The schedule. No one likes this off week coming when it does, but I do think that the schedule sets up in such a really unique way for Ohio State that you get back, you get the Marshall game, which should be a step up from the last two. Then you get Michigan State, which should be a step up from that. Then you get Iowa, which is going to be a step up. Then you're at Oregon. Like I think it really ramps up nicely. And I don't want to. I'm not going to nitpick about Ohio State right now. It's 108 to 6 in 2 weeks.
Ryan Day himself said that they were going to evaluate again with their kickoff return and special team situation. So that's 2 weeks in a row where he's talked about kickoff return specifically. So if we are going to pick those nits, then let's say that that's probably the one that's got his attention the most, which is, I think, a good sign because
They've only gotten like one a game.
there's been too many. Well, that's
they
also
haven't
fair.
let a team
Small-
we haven't been
Small
scoring.
sample size.
Yeah, small sample size.
Neither team they played has been in the red zone. Like there's so many things that they're doing really, really well that if your kickoff returner isn't catching the ball, that's a
Typically.
problem.
Well, it stands out, right? It's going to be more glaring, but I think again, it's a sign of progress because the last couple of years, you're just like, well, that's a special teams thing. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Special teams coordinator will handle that. Well, it didn't. It didn't get corrected. It didn't get improved. And Ryan Day, with the shuffling around of the coaching staff and the personnel, I think that he's been more involved in that and maybe more attentive to issues that can be corrected, which I think is good. That's what should be happening.
So the head coach's job.
That's what he said. I mean, didn't he say like it's giving me the freedom to kind of walk around and bark at the people I need to bark at, and
Well,
do
just be more aware of everything that's going on because you don't
instead
have
of
to call
focusing on
plays.
all right, I got another series coming up.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? It's you can kind of deal with that other stuff.
Yeah, I think there had been times in the last couple of years where you would ask a special teams question and not really get a direct answer from Ryan Day, and now he's like intimately involved in all both return, coverage, unit, the whole thing. Like he seems to have. I think that's a change in him at the top that is encouraging. He's got his finger on the pulse, and he's also engaged in trying to get it fixed.
Yep,
right there, just one of those. We're back. Sorry again for the delay. It was a Tuesday, an Appetizer Tuesday, mac and cheese bites day. It was it was all for Berm, so that he could get these when they are fresh out of the perfect oil.
Perfect.
Yeah, they're really well done today.
So
Get in here. I mean, you got about 6.5 hours left on this Tuesday by the time this is public on the YouTube to get in here and eat.
don't waste the time. And we'll be back here on Monday at Roosters. I promise it'll be a Monday. Thanks to Nicole Cox and the whole staff at Roosters. Thanks to Justin Zwick, Bobby Carpenter, and Jeremy Birmingham. I am Austin Ward. This has been the live show at Roosters. It's a fun, casual joint. We'll see you next time.